All right. With that, let's move on to the first of the two powerhouse conferences in the Big Ten. I feel like this is where we're going to start to get kind of similar. I think somebody's going to have this exact matchup because we're already going to see it once. It's Oregon and Ohio State. I don't believe in Michigan. I don't think they're ready. I don't think they bring back enough to follow up. I think Oregon's ready. Ohio State's loaded, absolutely loaded. Give me Oregon and Ohio State in a rematch, and I got Ohio State winning the Big Ten. I don't think there's much. I mean, I don't feel like you have to delve too much into that. The defense is going to be insane. Will Howard really just has to not lose.
Just don't screw it. It's like basically like
Yeah,
Stetson.
yeah. I mean, you pretty much just
Georgia.
don't screw it up.
Don't screw it up.
Like you've got two of the best running backs in the country. Your defense could probably win you every game. Just don't screw it up. That's outside of them going to Oregon. The one game I think Will Howard will have to actually get up for. I don't see Ohio State struggling very much.
Quack, 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 quack. Dude, Oregon, Dylan Gabriel, your Heisman absolute favorite. Just going to stat stuff all year.
Okay.
It's going to be incredible. That game is the one I had for my game of the year.
Yep.
My 1-1.
Yep.
Because I knew you would pick Texas, Georgia right away.
Yeah.
I think we all would agree that we knew
I
Georgia.
had to.
If there was anything, the most obvious thing possible would have been that game that Joseph would have taken. I really, really believe in Dan Lanning again this year. I think they lost a little bit on the defensive line again, but the power of money is going to be one of the favorite things to talk about when Oregon goes out there and beats Ohio State again. Twice in 1 year. I think it's
twice.
Okay.
Twice.
Wow.
You don't think,
Twice.
okay?
No, twice. And that is how that gets done. And then somebody is going to, at the end of the year, be like, well, Iowa only lost to Ohio State. And that's it. And we're going to have like maybe 11-win Iowa team. And they still should not get in the playoffs. But they're going to lose to Oregon twice. And I think Ohio State will be the Oregon of last year.
Okay. Where they can't get over the hump against.
Can't get over the hump. Will Howard's really good, but not quite as good.
Doesn't shine in the big moments.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's mine.
I love that.
You know, it's a lot of great quarterback play in this conference.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that you guys just aren't thinking about. And he's at Penn State, and his name is Drew.
Oh, God.
Kick rocks, Maggie.
And to me personally, you guys love Dylan Gabriel. That's great. You know, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Dylan Gabriel isn't at Oklahoma for a reason. I'm telling y'all, bye-bye. So I think Penn State is going to lose to the best team in college football, which is Ohio State.
Bam.
Pound for pound, Ohio State.
100% with you.
They are absolutely dominant on all facets. I mean, you have arguably the best running back, I'd say, in college football. You have two of the best receivers in college football. Name to watch this year, Carnell Tate. He's going to, if he plays the way I think, he could be Jackson Smith and Jigba type good.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be Marvin because Marvin said he's the best to ever come out of Ohio State history, which we'll talk about that. But give me Penn State over Ohio State over Penn State.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, sorry.
I was like, maybe I'm not with you.
I love James Franklin, and I think that he's accrued all this talent over time.
He's great.
It's got to pay off.
It's great for 10 wins.
I mean,
and losing the big games every single year.
But Penn State, I'm looking at their schedule. They avoid Oregon, and I really like that. I mean, I'm not scared of Washington. You play Ohio State, and you have Ohio State at home. I'm not fearful of going to Southern Cal. They could do some damage.
Yeah.
If James Franklin is really the coach I think he is.
And if Drew Allar has elevated his game
and I think
the way that he's supposed to.
I think he has.
You're talking about Drew Allar elevating his game, 2,300 yards passing, 23 touchdowns, and just one pick last year. So you elevate that even further. You throw for over 3,000 yards, over 30 touchdowns, and minimal picks. Penn State is going to win some big games this year. And so I'm with you, Miggy. I got Penn State and Ohio State in the championship game.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time for James Franklin. Let's win some big games.
Yeah, he's here for a
This
reason.
is the time. This is the time. Ohio State's still going to win the championship, but this is the time for James Franklin to get there.
No.
To go
way.
11-1.
Yes, get 11 wins instead of 10. Win one big game in the season. Come on. That's what I got.
I'm gonna hold the stance. James Franklin's gonna make me look stupid, and I'm cool with that. I'm just
Sweet.
until he does. It's hard for me to roll
Don't
Penn
believe.
State, man.
I
mean, I love Nick Singleton, and I love
Great running back.
dude.
Great running back.
Abdul Carter. Like they've got the big names.
They got some dogs, bro.
They lost Keandre Lambert-Smith, and I
Yeah.
think that's going to be a big loss. They did get Julian Fleming from Ohio State,
They did.
and
There
that's,
wasn't anything
that,
special at Ohio
but that
State.
receiver room, man.
But I mean,
It's
yeah,
loaded.
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, they were
it's-
loaded. So like he comes and he could be a 1 now. He could shine.
yeah, he
Yep.
could really, if he pops.
Yeah.
And they've got the running back tandem, and they've got Julian. They got a go-to guy in Julian Fleming. I could see it, but I'm gonna have to see it before I. I'm gonna have to see
Saquon's
it.
not there
So,
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a minute since Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders not there anymore.
Jeez.
Man,
Trace
Sean
McSorley,
Clifford.
baby.
Shout out to Trace.
I mean-
Trace McSorley.
Trace McSorley, baby.
Swag.
Oh, all right. Good picks all around, boys. My dark horse team for the Big Ten. I hate it, man. It's vanilla. It's Nebraska. It's Nebraska, dude. It's Dylan Raiola in year 1, Matt Rule in year 2. Their hardest game is at Ohio State. That's their hardest game. I mean, they could beat USC. They could beat UCLA. They can beat Wisconsin. They play Iowa to end the season at a Friday night. That's at Iowa. At Indiana. I mean, they could start the season 5-0. I mean, UTEP, Colorado, Northern Iowa, Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers. There's no reason they can't win all 6 of those games going into their bye, then play at Indiana and at Ohio State, lose to Ohio State, and holy crap, Nebraska's 7-1. Who would have thought?
Well, shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I did everything I could not to pick Nebraska because it's just it feels like such a cop out, man. But I don't know what Washington's going to be. I don't believe in USC. I don't believe in UCLA. I don't think Penn State's really a dark horse team.
Yeah.
So it's if this was Jonathan Smith's like 3rd year at Michigan State, you could sell me, but that program's gutted, man. It's going to take him a few years.
Yeah.
So give me what feels like the only option in Nebraska.
I can't believe you. Here's my thing.
Okay, go.
The best coordinator hire
Mhm.
of the entire year
Entire year?
was made by the top 10 offense automatic in Lincoln Riley. He got Mr. Lynn
He.
from UCLA. You moved it up.
I can't wait.
You moved it up. Now, if you just have a serviceable defense with Mr. Moss and you play jokers like Penn State and LSU, jokers.
At Michigan.
A
Home
let
against
down
Nebraska.
huge year for Michigan. Don't believe in Michigan at all. And then another Notre Dame team I don't believe in.
Oh,
There is a legit shot because of what I believe are some down years for Michigan. I don't believe in Penn State because I don't think they can score on Ray County High School. But I'll say this, boys. There's a shot USC could take Ohio State's spot in the Big Ten championship.
oh,
And that's
Oh,
why I
God.
have them also in the playoff.
oh!
Mm.
You went there.
So there's your dark
really went
horse
there. I love that.
in the
Mm.
Big Ten and
Wow.
in the playoff.
You didn't sell me
Miller
on
Moss.
it. You didn't sell me on it, but I love that for you.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. I just think you're getting an automatic top 15, top 10 offense in the country with Lincoln. And if you just get that defense where it can stop anything,
Top 30.
In-
I mean,
Anything.
anything,
Anything.
anything, I know. I get it. The man, the myth, the legend is gone to Chicago now. He is going to do great things for the Bears in the coming years. Already seems like an
The
awesome dude on
Bears.
Hard Knocks, but by God, you still got studs that roll in through. It's still USC. It's still USC, and your schedule's not very hard considering. So let's ride. Trojan up.
You got the Tyreek Hill of college football, man.
100%.
Zachariah Branch.
He's the
Yeah.
most electrifying player we've seen
He's
since
incredible.
Percy Harvin.
He's incredible.
Yep.
So
Give him weapons.
Yep. Love the pick. Loved
you.
it. I was actually going to do that.
Thank you.
I was. So
Middle
the
table.
reason that JJ McCarthy went pro is because he was getting the good while the good was getting. But there was
Mhm.
also somebody behind him that if he didn't leave, he might have lost that job too. Alex Orgy.
Bad
Great
I'm
man.
last
looking
name.
at you, man. All right, I'm looking at this schedule. We'll get into the SEC in a minute because I'm just going to talk about Texas then.
Okay.
It's tough. I mean, I'm looking. There's a lot going on, but I do think that Michigan is still fully loaded, and I think they might have something to say. That defense. I mean, Will Johnson to me is the best corner, I would say, since Pat Surtain. I mean, he's just fluid. He can just cover. I mean, 30% of the earth is covered by what land?
Land.
70% is covered by Will Johnson. It's like that.
Boy, can swim.
It's like that, bro.
He is cornerback number one.
So I think he's going to be a top 5 pick, and I think you got some incredible pieces. Give me Michigan as my dark horse.
Incredible defense. That God, your picks have just been phenomenal.
Thank you.
Like,
Except for that
appreciate it.
Colorado one.
Hey, I believe.
oh no, I
man.
love it, man.
I
like,
love that Miggy's going to go there.
I don't agree
Yeah.
with you at all, but I love the pick.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
Y'all don't believe in Shador? That's crazy.
It's not Shador.
It's the people in
It's the
front of
people
him
around
blocking.
Shador. It's those
Yeah.
5 guys that block for Shador.
I think they've addressed that, y'all. I really do.
I mean, Warren
I-
Sapp is there. So the
Yeah.
D line has been
Yeah,
they surely
should be bolstered a little bit.
Surely they've addressed that. It's glaring.
and what's his name?
I would hope so, but I mean, shoot, I mean, you can say the same thing about the Colts from back in the day
Yeah.
with Andrew Luck, and they failed to address that until
Yeah.
it was too late, and
Yeah.
then it's probably looking like the same thing with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the Kansas City Chiefs invest heavily into that offensive line because they know the most important asset in all of football is Patrick Mahomes.
For sure.
One of the most important aspects or assets in college football is Shador Sanders. I wholeheartedly believe that, but I don't know if they've addressed those needs or not. Time will tell. Season will show us
Very soon.
very
got-
soon. Boys.
They got one. They got Jordan Seaton,
Dog.
5-star lineman, but
Love
he's a
that.
freshman, man.
We'll see you at Tennessee
Freshman.
in 2 years.
He's a
bro.
freshman. Like,
We'll see you in Rocket Top.
oh, dude, you got David Sanders. Like,
We got David Sanders.
David Sanders. Great.
All right. So for my dark horse team, stay with me on this one because I think it was you, Joseph, who mentioned that you don't believe Penn State can be a dark horse. But I'm hearing and reading everything about Ohio State and Oregon. They are going to run roughshod over the Big Ten like nobody's business. And that's why I believe that Penn State is going to be a little bit of a dark horse team. I
Okay.
know that they usually win 10 games and James Franklin, Drew Aller, and all of those things that we've already talked about. They have the 3rd best odds to win the conference right now. I know it doesn't necessarily make them a dark horse team, but again, everybody's talking about these other 2 teams, and that's why I believe Penn State can be a little bit of a dark horse. Just because Michigan, I don't know if what they're exactly going to be. You mentioned they have one of the best cornerbacks in the land there as well. You've got Oregon, got Penn State, Ohio State, USC. I know, Chase, you made a case for them, but give me Penn State as potentially a dark horse team since I believe that they're going to wade through these waters. You mentioned that they don't have to face Oregon, and they're going to get to the Big Ten championship game.
I'm so glad you made that pick.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad you made that pick because my disappointing season team is Penn State.
Okay.
We'll
see.
I mean, we've been on this train with James Franklin.
We sure
We've
have.
been on this train for several years, and
It's finally going to go somewhere this year.
I hope
It's finally gonna go somewhere.
for Penn State fans, I hope it does. But until it does, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say I think Penn State's going to have a disappointing season. I wouldn't be surprised if they open the season with a loss to West Virginia. I don't think they'll beat Ohio State. Yes, they do dodge Oregon, but I think Wisconsin's going to be a little bit better this year. I think they could get them. That game's at home. There's not really many other games they could lose, but I mean, if Penn State doesn't make a 12-team playoff, that's disappointing. And if you lose to Ohio State and Wisconsin and West Virginia, what wins do you have to go off of?
Mhm.
USC, UCLA, Washington, who the cupboard just got raided. I mean, they have Will Rogers and Jed Fish. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of win? Like, what wins do you have to brag on if you don't beat Ohio State, West Virginia, and Wisconsin? None.
You don't have any.
You don't. And Penn State's right back where they are, playing in a
Well, they
Tostitos
USC.
Fiesta Bowl.
USC?
But I don't think USC is going to be.
Well, that's where you're wrong. But it's okay. It's okay.
They got to go
Here's what
across
I-
the country.
Here's what I want to see from USC. If they're, because I don't think they have the guys on defense, but if they look more put together schematically, that to me is a win. Like if guys are in the right places and they're just getting out athleted, I'll take that. I will take that because once the scheme's right, you can recruit the guys. You're
Yeah.
USC.
Absolutely.
That's all I want to see.
You're just getting rid of Alex Grinch.
Yep.
Finally.
Fine. 4 years too late.
Finally.
Like
way too late. And
it
it
just
I don't know what blackmail he had on him, but
I don't
Lincoln
even-
just couldn't give it up.
I
But
don't even-
you're really getting somebody from across town, doesn't have to, sell a house or anything like that. So that's why I kind of believe in USC.
and UCLA kind of. I mean, when you said best coordinator hire, I thought Chip Kelly was where you were going with that, but
Where'd he go?
Ohio State.
Ohio State
that's
is
what
the
I'm
saying,
OC.
like, it's over
Like,
with.
dude, what he can do with Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson.
Motion everywhere.
Judkins is the
God,
most, get the most out of anything you possibly can right now.
Yeah.
Pick up.
Oh, yeah.
He is the guy that's like, we do not need you, like at all.
Mhm.
But when we have you, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it.
Ohio State feels like the Rams a few years ago. Just spend all this money, win a Super Bowl. At least we won one.
Yeah.
Like they feel like the Rams of college football.
Well, they need
from
to
a few
do.
years
Ryan
ago.
Day needs to beat Michigan.
Dude,
I mean,
he has to.
Yeah.
He has to.
this is
So-
if he doesn't this year, his job might be in jeopardy. Unless he wins
I
the natty.
get the pressure for it there. I can't. It's so hard for me to fathom somebody actually firing him. His win
Oh, I wouldn't
percentage is-
either. But
No, yeah,
like
yeah.
how people are there in the
dude.
college football world. There,
100%. 100%. So
Ohio State fans are not going to be happy.
Yeah.
Well,
Disappointing
don't worry.
season.
He's gonna beat him. It's Michigan. They're
Okay.
gonna have the disappointing season. They will not make a playoff. I don't even know if they'll be that close. I think you're losing to Texas. You're losing to USC.
Oh,
You're losing to Oregon. You're losing to Ohio State. And man, if it was in Michigan, I'd have something to say. But you could also get your 5 losses by going to Washington. It's right before your bye week. You're looking ahead.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's an easy 4 losses. I can see maybe 5. Orgy is a physical specimen. That sentence was tough.
Pause.
you gotta dance around your words.
Yeah,
there a
yeah, you
little
got
bit.
to. Alex, 6'3", 235, basically me. But he's a freak of nature, but he's just got a lot to prove. I mean, just got to be. He's got it. The natural talent is there, that.
100%.
But he's got to show it. They lost a lot. You're losing the best college running back maybe last year. You're losing so much on the offensive line and defensive line. So I understand that still Michigan, they're still recruiting, still doing their
True.
thing. They're crushing the portal, all the good stuff. But Sharon Moore's not Jim Harbaugh. And
Yeah.
I think that's going to matter this year. And listen, you guys won a natty.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Mhm.
But I don't think this year is your year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Sharon's the man. But I see 4, maybe 5 losses. So that's fine.
My disappointing team is a team that if they lose one ball game, it's a disappointment. It's Ohio State.
Oh,
Ooh, good
If
take.
they lose
Ooh.
one game,
Mhm.
it is to me a failure, and I think Ryan Day should be removed. And really
What if they win a
Whoa,
national championship
whoa.
and they lose one game?
hang on now.
guys? We're talking.
That you
and
can't
I'm
have
not-
that take.
I'm not trying to put pressure on these boys.
Oh, the pressure's already there.
This is 2001 Miami Hurricane type roster.
Yep.
This is 2020 Alabama type roster. This is 2019 LSU. Like, these guys are built to win every single game convincingly.
Yeah.
And if they don't at least doghouse Michigan, it's a wrap. Ryan Day is no longer coaching at Ohio State.
So, would you say all that if they go to Oregon and they lose on like a last second field goal or something, but then they, dog walk Michigan and then beat Oregon in that revenge game. Is that
You
you think that's Ohio
Yes.
State fans would be?
That
That's
is
the only acceptable.
it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah.
Anything else? If you lose 2 games to me, Ryan Day, we're good.
Yeah.
We can go find somebody else.
God, dude, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine
He
firing.
can't, he can't do it. If not now, when, bro?
It's fair.
If not today, when? It's
I'm-
not going to get better.
I mean, you had CJ Stroud, who's what turned out to be a top 5
Your
quarterback in the
receiver
NFL now?
rooms in
He was number
2020.
2, I think.
He
He was right behind Bryce Young.
no. I mean, like, is a top 5 active.
Oh, no. He's not
No?
top
Okay,
5. No,
okay.
no.
Who?
CJ
CJ
Stroud.
Stroud.
CJ.
Top 5 right now? No.
Top 10,
Top 10.
Fringe?
Yes.
Maybe.
maybe.
He's got to prove a little
I think I could
something
sell
more.
him on that.
A little something more on that. All right, my take is going to be so wrong, but I'm going to go with the Oregon Ducks. Quack, quack, quack. Big move to the Big Ten. Definitely a tougher conference than the Pac-12. Who did Oregon beat last year? You know, they lost twice to Washington.
Yeah.
In Seattle, and then in the Pac-12 championship game, he beat the Utes, but they weren't the Utes.
It
They
wasn't.
didn't have Cam Rising. And then USC, they were very underwhelming last year. They beat Liberty. Come on. I don't know. I like. Look, is Dylan Gabriel better than Bo Nix? I don't think so.
I agree with that, actually.
Bo Nix is. I mean, he's been proven that he's probably going to win the job out there in Denver. Surprisingly, their defense might be a little bit more improved. I understand their schedule is incredibly tough, but with how everybody's hyping them up, I don't believe that they're going to live up to all of the expectations. Like, if it is Ohio State and Oregon, Ohio State better take them to the woodshed because they are a much better program and a much better team
Not
than
even
Ohio
close.
State
Not even close.
or Oregon.
I love
my
that
take.
pick.
Thank you.
I love that pick. I love that take. That was phenomenal.
It's
Thank
hot.
you.
Very well done.
I appreciate it.
With that being
Probably gonna be
said,
terribly wrong, but whatever.
no, I mean, no, actually, it makes sense. It makes sense because, I mean, Dylan Gabriel struggled against mediocre competition in the Big 12 last year.
Everybody's
I mean,
hyping
yeah,
him
they
up.
beat Texas, but in my opinion, Texas kind of
Texas
threw that game
lost that
away.
game.
Yeah,
Sark
Texas lost that
blew
game.
it.
Yeah.
Like, they.
That's your boy, though.
I love him. He
Yeah,
had
you
a
do.
horrible day. At
So,
the
I mean,
office.
Dylan Gabriel could get rattled.
Yeah.
You know, if them boys in Ohio State, they eat him up a couple of times early in that game in Autzen.
Listen, the boys at Ohio State better be ready. I'm looking at a picture right now. Julian Fleming, Marvin Harrison Jr., Garrett Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Chris Olave, and CJ Stroud were all on the same team and didn't win a championship.
I can't even believe that.
Ryan Day, you're on the clock.
That's
Ryan Day.
real quick because you brought that up. Did you guys see the Texas A&M receiver room remake the Alabama
Yes,
receiver?
I saw that.
Dude, savages.
Dude, that's just like you guys are closer to used car salesman than you are to that receiver room, brother. Like,
Let me talk to you
come
about
on.
Enterprise Rental Car, brother.
Like,
Let me holler at you, man.
they're gonna open their own like law firm together and all their names.
They love their former college athletes
Oh,
over there at
God.
Enterprise.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
we do. We'll pick you up.
Yeah.
Ask me how I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
They got me back in 2016.
Oh my gosh.